What a shame that rather than admit the valid points that were pointed out to young Nicholas here regarding his drone video, in which we all had a bit of a giggle yesterday, Nicholas came to the channel, didn't even understand the points I'd made, or the argument, the fact that his drone video highlighted the absurdity of cranes on a spinning ball. Didn't even get that. And then when I highlighted that and the things I stood by, because I think Nicholas arrived at the channel thinking he had some idea of what someone like myself was about. Clearly he was in for a rude awakening, as I highlighted the things I stand by, demonstrable reality. And of course, the results of that highlight the absurdity of the globe. When I pressed Nicholas here for a scientific demonstration, which he claimed he had, involving a pendulum proving tower cranes could be dead still on a spinning ball, he said he's got one. He could take footage in his car with a pendulum. I pressed him on it again and again, and then we got the big excuse. Backtracking, once I'd highlighted and was holding him to the claims, he then claimed his gigantic ball, i.e. the globe Earth, got in the way of his scientific demonstration. So he's not only displayed dishonesty to himself and me, backtracking as well. I've also seen him slagging people off, myself, in another comment section. Totally two-faced, totally triggered. Rather than accept the valid points which can be tested and verified by myself and you as well, Nicholas, you chose to be triggered because of your bias. You don't even understand how your own mind works, Nicholas. You automatically chucked stuff out saying you've got scientific demonstrations when I pressed you for them. You then went into automatic mode, denying the fact that you've just lied to yourself by not providing those demonstrations, now making excuses up that your globe Earth gets in the way. So you've lied, you've shown delusions, you're triggered, and now you want to hit the channel with a copyright strike because of the things I stand by, and you've obviously had a bit of a think about it and realised you've got nothing as far as your argumentation goes with regards to what this channel stands by. In fact, everything you've brought to the table, Nicholas, has highlighted the absurdity of not only your own claims, but the heliocentric model in general. I'm not going to go through the comments. If it interests you, have a look. Link in the description to the video. Nicholas's comment is pinned. But essentially he's become so triggered by the fact that I'm holding him to the claims and he can't back them, rather than be honest and say, oh, fair enough, I haven't got demonstrable proof. I made that claim, but I was wrong. Rather than admit that, we get lies, denial, now accusations, and threats of copyright strike. Do you not see how this pattern plays out, Nicholas? Rather than display honesty with yourself, which is the most important thing here, and then of course others like me, you just spewed out a load of triggered garbage. And now, because I used your image, because you're so triggered by the fact I've highlighted the absurdity of your claims and the things you stand by, you want to hit me with a strike because I used your image. Rather than address the scientific claims and things I stand by, which are irrefutable and destroy the globe. Where is it? Your latest comment. Obviously, I keep holding him to the claims. Cite, practical, demonstrable science. And of course he can. And now, where is it? It's just come through. There's the excuse, his big ball's in the way. Yeah, we've heard it all before. I don't give up demonstrable reality, Nicholas, based on assumptions, excuses, okay? I stand by the things that have been tested and verified by everyone, which is why you're so triggered, because you're controlled via your ego. And your ego is powered by heliocentric fantasies, space stories, helicopters on Mars, living on a cannonball flying through a vacuum. You've let all common sense and reason go out the window, Nicholas, and you're now controlled by your ego, which hasn't got your best interest at heart, me old mate. Where are we? Here we are, right at the bottom. I do have demonstrable science, of which I've just provided. You've not. You've just given me a load of waffle. All right? I asked for a practical scientific demonstration involving a pendulum. I know you can't provide it anyway, Rather than accept that scientific fact, you've just come here finally. You have 12 hours to remove my image from your thumbnail, or I will provide you with one more demonstrable reality. A big fat strike on your channel. Cheers. The only thing that's demonstrable here is the fact that you are triggered and you've got no real world science, as your comment section shows, as this pinned comment stroke thread shows. There's no link to any demonstrable science whatsoever regarding the subject matter that we've discussed. And the subject matter we've discussed and the things I stand by, demonstrable reality, annihilate your fantasy world, Nicholas. And you've just shown that to anyone with any common sense with your response. Triggered. Trying to get me a copyright strike because I used your image. I will remove your image despite the fact you've displayed dishonesty. You've displayed how triggered you are by the subject. You've been two-faced slagging people off. You've made bullshit assumptions about people like myself. Despite all those things and the fact I was quite respectful to you, and I stand by the things that are demonstrably true, you still want to spit your dummy out and try and hit me with a copyright strike. It shows you the faulty logic. It shows you the mechanisms of the mind. If you don't understand the mind, you're a fool to yourself. Sorry, Nicholas, that it ended this way. I was hoping that you would be honest with yourself and see some real demonstrable science and understand the obvious fundamental points that were being made, the fundamental demonstrable truths. Unfortunately, your bias and your ego went into automatic trigger mode, and of course we got all the Jackanory mantras thrown out, and then of course when you realised you had nothing and you made yourself look a bit daft, you then serve up a copyright strike or threatening. I'll remove your image. I'm sorry you feel this way. Perhaps start some meditation, learn, understand the mechanisms of the mind, how it works. It's a very powerful thing when you start to understand your mind, Nicholas. You start to discern better because you not only understand your mind, you understand the body's mechanisms to certain scenarios. Helps you deal with life so much better, helps you discern so much better. Stops you making a fool of yourself, Nicholas. What a shame it ended that way. I'll remove Nicholas's image. It's a shame I had to highlight that, but that is the mindset of a faith-based religion known as heliocentrism. Sad.